I'm pleased to say we're joined by one of the debutants on the European Tour next week, Rhys Griffin. Thanks for the time again, Rhys. How are you doing?
I'm alright, mate. How are you?
Doing good, thank you. And we're almost there. This time next week, you're going to be in Leverkusen getting ready to play in the European Darts Open, the long-awaited debut on the Euro Tour. I'm certainly feeling the buzz for it. How are you feeling about getting up on that stage?
I'm excited. It's been a long time coming, really, innit? So, yeah, I'm just really excited now. I'm not nervous. I'm not expected to do anything up there, so I get a free roll up there, really, don't I? So I'm just really excited to go now.
Glad to it. Well, we'll come back to the Euro Tour later, but lots to catch up on with you on the show. The last time we had you on, coming up for 2 years ago, just before the World Series in Amsterdam. I know the result didn't go your way against Jeff Smith, but what was that whole experience like, getting to play on the big stage in the PDC?
Yeah, it was a learning curve, because I had to do a lot of interviews beforehand and filming, and I didn't really get much practice time or preparation time as I'd like. So I took that into the World Championships, when I learned just get to the venue a bit earlier when you're doing these things, just in case people ask you to do more than you thought you'd have to.
Fair enough. Well, a few months later you were the king of the qualifiers again, this time the last chance tour card qualifiers for the World Championship. You won 4 games to get to Ali Pali. What are your memories of the qualifier, first of all?
It was weird, really. I'd not been playing very well since Amsterdam. I'd struggled, really. I just woke up that day and I just thought, you know, I just fancy this. Some days you just wake up and you feel great and everything feels... I was just enjoying myself through the day. I said a couple of tight wins in there as well, which I think help when you're under pressure and you get them tight wins over you, but I think I had 2 of them early on. And then, I played... I can't remember who I played. I remember playing Adam Smith-Neale. I can't remember who I played after that.
Jose de Souza. Adam Hunt in the final.
And I got into a bit of a lead against Adam. He came back a bit, but I think the damage was done there. I was quite cool. I played it. I was quite slow that day, just to help my breathing and just make sure I wasn't letting the pressure get on top of me and staying calm. But yeah, it was a good day.
Yeah, it certainly paid off, didn't it? You got to Ali Pali, and what a debut it was, beating Carol Sedlarczyk in straight sets. She said afterwards that your nerves were shot on the walk-on. So what were the emotions like throughout the whole day, leading into the game and then having that performance?
Yeah, I was waking up, I was sort of bricking it a bit, because I knew what was coming through the day. But yeah, as the day went on a bit, I calmed down. I went out of practice, had a bit of prep in the morning, and then we got to the venue and I was feeling alright until you see it, and you're in the taxi when they're taking you see it, and you sort of just get hit with emotion and you think, God, this is happening. And then when the walk-on music hit, I was alright all day. I was fine practicing all the way through. My prep went great, and I got to the back where you stand, and I fell up the little ramp, which didn't help. I
didn't know what was
everyone's there. Honest to God, I fell up the little ramp. Somebody will have a video of it somewhere. Fell into the security guard. I was like, oh God, here we go. And then your music hits, and you think, God, this is actually real. And all the adrenaline just hits, and you get emotional and everything. And yeah, it was. When I got up there, I was all right. After I won a leg, I was fine.
Yeah, you certainly played all right. You were hitting 180s for fun that day, and we should give a shout out to a mutual friend of ours, Simon Isherwood, who put in the Crofters group chat the night before, Rhys Griffin to hit 2 180s in each set. That's got to be worth a punt. And I think a lot of people, we were watching it in the Crofters, put a few pounds on that. Did any of the boys buy you a beer after?
No, none of them. Not one person. It was a joke. I must have won 1,000 that day, and I have not seen a penny of it. So I'm still waiting to be paid.
There you go, boys. Get in touch, get this man a beer, he deserves it. Well, the run at Ali Pali did end against Josh Rock in the second round. But coming into 2025, how much confidence did you take from the Worlds, and were you surprised that you didn't maybe quite kick on as much?
Yeah, I had a big year that year. First year on tour, I wasn't expected to get on the tour at all, because I was going back to Q School. I just had a year off and everything, but I settled in quite well. I didn't do as much on the Pro Tour as I liked, but the qualifiers I was doing really well in. I managed to get myself a decent amount of money on the rankings, and I thought I'd kick on. I said I got married that year. I had a lot going on that year, which probably didn't help, but it was my own fault. I didn't deal with it the way I should have, and I quit work thinking that when I was out of work I'd be able to focus more on the darts, and I did. It just didn't help, because then the financial thing kicks in, and Yeah, but I learnt my lessons there, so I'm back working now. I feel a lot better. But yeah, I did a lot of things wrong that year that I probably should have learned from. Well, I have learned from now, but I should have known what to do by then.
Well, at the end of 2025, you did have a quarter-final run in one of the last Players' Championships, beating Johnny Clayton on the way. I know it wasn't enough to keep your tour card, but did that give you a bit of belief going into this year?
Yeah. So I was really happy. Towards the end of the year, I started actually playing some decent stuff again. I went back working towards the end of the year. I felt a lot more comfortable and stable financially and just mentally. And yeah, I started feeling a lot more confident. I was starting to play well. I probably should have beat Littler that day. I think I got 4-0 up. I don't know what would have happened after that, but yeah, I was playing well going into the World Championship qualifiers. I knew they were coming up, and I was quite confident it didn't happen. I played quite well, but yeah, it gave me a lot of belief going into the next year that I was doing everything right at that point, and I could get back in.
You certainly did that. January, you were back at Q School. I know 2024 Q School, you were inconsolable for 6 hours waiting to find out if you were going to get a card on the final day. This time round, you won it on the first day of the final stage, and it's fair to say that Q School this year couldn't have gone much better.
Yeah, I went into Q School with a real belief and confidence. I'd never put so much prep in. Everything felt right. Health was good. Mentally, I was fantastic, and I said to my missus before I went down, I said, I'll be home Friday. And she went, what do you mean? I said, I'm packing one pair of trousers, I'm packing one shirt. I said, I'm getting this one and done, I'm coming home.
Did you actually?
Yeah, that's what I said to her. I didn't pack. I packed three. I packed everything I needed. No, I packed everything. But yeah, that was the mentality I went down with, and I was behind in a few of them games. I was 5-2 down to Shane McGurk, and but I just didn't think I could be beat that day. There's something about me that day. I'm not losing today.
Yeah, it was a class run. You mentioned the game against Shane McGurk, Steve Lennon, Harry Ward, Derek Coulson was a good one. Scott Waits in the final. So it's a great run that you've had there. And I know you've said before that Q School's the toughest tournament.
By far,
it can be real graft, but you got it done with 3 days to spare. And I even joked with you after you wrapped it up so early, if you hurry up back from Milton Keynes, you might get back for Taste of Greece.
Taste of Greece on Thursday, yeah. And I didn't have that much time, but yeah, it was. Yeah, it was good. Like I said, I've gone through both parts of Q School now, where it's just as emotional. I've gone through the agony of having to wait 6 hours to find out if I was in or not, and I've got it done on the first day. But they're both. It's a horrible place to go. I hate going there. I'm seeing to do better. I don't want to have to go back again, but yeah, it's horrible. It's just a horrible place to be in.
Well, fingers crossed you won't be going back.
No, hopefully not. Hopefully not.
And you spoke to Dan Dawson after winning back your tour card. You said, in your words, the last 2 years on tour have been absolutely shocking. Do you feel like you've got a point to prove this year and next year?
Yeah, I started the year really well this year. I've gone a bit missing in some games. I've a couple of tough draws, but you're gonna have to play them all at some point as well. So I'd rather play them in the final than the first round. But yeah, I've not done as much as I wanted to do this year, but I'm starting to play a lot better again now. I'm starting to feel more confident in my game again. So hopefully by the end of the year I'll get my goals done.
Let's hope so. We'll finish up back to the Euro Tour, but we have had a few questions sent in from people that you know. The first one comes from Chris Donahue, who says, what's his thoughts on the arcade club and more specifically the food?
I didn't get to try the food. I had to wait an hour and 40 minutes for it, and Donnie knows that. I'll never be going back there again. I don't think I'm welcome back there again after the fuss I kicked up. So
well, we'll leave the name of the club out.
Let's not do that.
And, another one from your sister-in-law now, Lindsay Ashton, says, who is your favourite female darts player? And you can't say your wife.
Well, I'll say her mother then.
Good
answer. Lucky, Linz.
Well, let's get back to next week then. The Euro Tour in Leverkusen. You won your spot in the field through the tour card holder qualifiers around 6 weeks ago now. We follow them on Dart Connect. We can see how brutal they are to play. And you know I've been on your case for the last 2.5 years. Get me to a Euro Tour when I come to one. So what did it mean to you to win that qualifier?
The first thing I thought of was, God, Alex is finally going to get off my back. It's finally got to go somewhere. I know it wasn't where you wanted it to go, but it's somewhere I thought.
I'll take it.
It was just... I actually tend to play quite well in these qualifiers, right? And I've ran into some horrible games where people have just gone absolutely insane. That was probably the worst I played in the qualifiers in 2.5 years. The first one was horrific. And I didn't play much better in the second one either. And It's mad. It was. There was at no point did I think I was going to win that day. That was probably my biggest help.
Yeah.
Because usually I go into the qualifiers quite confident. I'm going to get through this today. I'm going to get through this. It was funny as well because Owen Bates, after I lost in the first one, and I lost I think it was Rusty with like a 75 average or something. I was done for the week. I was like, I just want to go home. And Owen Bates turned around to me and said, "No, you're going to win this one." Oh. And I went, "What do you mean?" He went, "No, you'll win this one." He went, "Trust me." And as he was leaving the venue, I think I just beat Peter Wright. And he said, "I told you you're going to qualify for this one," and I managed to qualify for it. And the worst part was, one of my best mates stag do's that weekend, and I had no idea. Yeah. So now I can't go on that either. So he's not happy either.
Yeah, sorry, Dave.
Sorry, Dave.
Other places to be, but by my maths, it was your 43rd Euro Tour
sounds about
qualifier,
right.
and perhaps it was meant to be because, as you mentioned, you did draw the GOAT, in my opinion, Peter Wright, in the first round. You beat him 6-5, Andy Bolton 6-4, and in the final round against Jeffrey Desvan, the first 10 legs all go with serve. Mm-hmm. How are you feeling going into that final leg, just one away?
How am I still in this? Was the actual. I think you should have absolutely battered me, I think, but I would say if you score with certain players, then you might get a chance. And he's one of the biggest scorers on tour when he's on it. He's unbelievable. His 188 is ridiculous, but he just, luckily for me, he couldn't hit a double that day, and it's to my benefit. I think both of us were like nervous dogs. We couldn't do anything. But luckily he missed about 6 darts a double, and I managed to clean up.
Yeah, I was going to say that final leg, if I had any hair left, I would have pulled it out because you were both missing match darts in the decider. How nerve-wracking was
I've never been so nervous. I don't think I've ever... I can't remember how many finals of these qualifiers I've lost in. It must be like 6 or 7. I don't think I've ever had a match dart, so I've never had a chance to get nervous in the qualifier. Yeah. Getting a match, that was the first time in probably 40... except for the first time, I think, since the first one I played in, I think I had match darts in that one. But yeah, 42 attempts later, I've not had a match dart to get through to one of them. So I was absolutely cacking myself. Yeah, I was a nervous wreck. But yeah, luckily I sort of snatched it in, and I give it beans as well. I won't lie. Well, a 21 dart leg, and I give it massive. So
yeah, there's a few noise complaints in the office as well. After that winning, we're delighted to see you get there, and we don't know who you're going to be playing on the Friday. The draw's not going to be done until the day before. But looking at that list of Pro Tour qualifiers, there's some big names. Damon Etta, even Karol Sedlarczyk. We're going to have a rematch there. Have you got a hunch who you might get paired up with?
There's Menzies on there. I've just got a feeling I'm going to play Menzies. I don't know why. I've just got a feeling I'm going to play Menzies. But I don't mind who I play. Like I said, they're all good players. I'm going to be the underdog wherever I play. So unless I manage to win one of these Pro Tours next week, but yeah, the way they've worked it now, it makes it hardest for the qualifiers to get through because you can't draw the other qualifiers or the home nation qualifiers. So you've always got a tough game when you qualify now. I think that's why players are finding it so hard to sort of break through and get into more of these. But I don't have a preference, but I think it'll be Menzies for some reason. I owe him one, so
we shall see. And lastly then, away from the darts, we should give a mention to your football team, Arsenal. I think the Arsenal shirt must be in the wash, but mixed emotions, I'm guessing, because you've won the Premier League, you lost the Champions League final. How do you reflect on the season, and what are the hopes for next season?
The hopes for next season are that we win the quadruple, but that's probably not going to happen. So I'd take another league or a Champions League next year. I think he needs to build. I still think we need some improvements in the team. I'm not going to say where, but people know where we need improving, and hopefully he can have a good summer. I think he's waiting out at the minute as well because he's not really done much. There's been talks of Bruno Guimaraes and maybe Alvarez, but I think he needs probably 4 signings and he'll probably be good to go again next season. I think we'll win the league next season again because I think a lot of teams are rebuilding around us. We're the only one with a steady core from the previous season, so yeah, I'd like a Champions League though, because that was rough. Going through that was horrid. So I don't want to do that again.
Well, fingers crossed you'll get that Champions League. Yeah. Before then though, Rhys, we are going to see you on the Euro Tour. Wish you all the best for next week in Leverkusen and what else is to come in 2026.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Good man.
Thank you.